Hey everybody, and welcome back to Uru Complete Chronicles. We are outside the library here in Ae'gura, and there's this machine making a noise here. I'm not really sure what this is. Is this the key thing here? I'm assuming it is, because I don't really see anything else here that could really be making that sound. But anyway, we are outside the library, so let's take a look around. Check out what's in here. You can go up here. As it turns out, you cannot actually enter through these doors. You actually have to go in through the barricaded section down below, which you can do by slipping through there. Oh! Key is flashing, so that's a good sign, right? There's some notebooks here as well. We'll have to make sure to read those. As well as a kind of buckled area here. Looks a little dangerous. I'm wondering if the area that was flashing over there is meant to be below us. Let's go check it out. I like this music a lot. This is a nice track. I hear it beeping. There it is, right there. Cool. I think that's the only one in here. Okay. Let's check out what those notebooks are all about. I don't know how you would have been able to... Let me see here. Yeah, I'm not sure where the upper doors would have led. Maybe there's another floor above here, but you certainly can't access it at this point, at least. Alright. Let's check out these notebooks. Miemen's story. The story of Miemen, taken from book 210, or 21D, maybe? Yes, 21D. Translation, Nick. First draft. And a dark sickness spread through the city, and sores broke out on the skin of those who the sickness touched. Might be better translated infected, but touched fits with the literary style. And some began to die. The sickness came from Yasefe, where the large trees grew, and where the wood of Yamen was harvested. As it was there was great fear in there was great fear in the houses of all those who lived with Yamen close to them. And so great fear spread through the king's household, and through all those who worked in the halls of the guilds and those who looked over the city. Such fear overcame the minds of reason, and many began to flee the city and run to the other places that were available to them. But King Miemen was angry at those who ran and was himself unafraid, literally not of fear. And so he called for the healer, Grandmaster Shemeth, to come to his room. And though Shemeth was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Grandmaster Shemeth, the king asked his healer, have you not read the histories of our people? Have you not been instructed in the ways of those who led your guild in the generations before you? Are you not aware of the plague that this place has already seen? My king, it is for these reasons that I am prepared to flee, for I know those who died and those who were unable to prevent it from taking hold of them. I know of this plague in detail. And the king answered, Depart. I have no time for you, Shemeth. Depart to your own age, and do not return to this place again. May it be that my eyes never look upon your face again. And Shemeth departed from King Miemen, and he never saw him again. And King Miemen called for Guildmaster Anim of the Guild of Healers. And though Anim was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guildmaster Anim, the king asked his healer, have you too not read the histories of our people? Have you not heard the ways of those who led your guild 3,000 years ago? My king, of course. It is for these reasons that I know what may happen to our people. It is for that reason that we must protect ourselves first, so that we may protect those who trust us for protection. It is not how I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may I never see you again, King Miemen ordered. And King Miemen called for Guildmaster Rahman of the Guild of Healers. And though Rahman was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guildmaster Rahman, the king asked his healer, tell me that you have read the histories of our people and have been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me you have heard of the destruction of the sickness that overcame our people 3,000 years ago. Of course, my king. It is for these reasons that we must bring the ancient books to another age, so that we may study our records, and learn in the ways that we must fight. But to stay here would be suicide. "It is as I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may you never see the light of the lake again," King Myemen ordered. And King Myemen was greatly disturbed and troubled, and he stayed in his room for 4 nights. His servants brought food for him, but he refused to eat. And his servants brought advisors, but he refused to speak. And all of those around him became worried even as more of the city became empty. And finally King Myemen called for Guild Captain Iram of the Guild of Hewers. And Iram was studying in the guild, and he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. "Guild Captain Iram," the king asked his hewer, "tell me that you have read the histories of our people and have been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me that not all of Dunny is running in fear of a sickness that can be defeated." "Oh, of course, my king. It is for these reasons that I have not left my class since I first heard of the sickness appearing in the district where the trees appear. I understand that our father, the honored guildmaster Jason, worked for 6 years, even after the Book of Berneni was found. He worked day and night and stood by our people as he sought to save them from the sickness that had even infected our king. It is for these reasons that I will not leave this place until the sickness is no longer in our city." "Tell me whatever you need, and it will be yours. You are most honored in this palace today, and Dunny will be saved because of you." And King Myemen was filled with joy, and he ate from the food his servants brought him and spoke with the advisors who came to speak. As it was, Iram spent day and night without sleeping for 4 more days. And on the 5th day, the cure was found, and the sickness was deadly no longer. And King Myemen gave the Guild of Hewers to Iram, and he was known as Grand Master from that day forward. Shemeth, Anim, and Rahman were restricted from the Guild of Hewers and never again allowed inside of it, or of the palace, or of any of the king's dwellings and structures. And King Myemen ordered the surveying of a new section of the city to be called Neural. I remember that was hard to pronounce from earlier. And this section was to be away from the city so that any sickness brought from the other worlds would not be brought to the heart of the city, but instead away from it so that fear would not spread again. And he ordered that the story of Grandmaster Iram be taught to all of those who were instructed by the Guild of Hewers from that day forward, so that none would forget the power of Dunny and the great strength of their medicines and learning. Seems a good place to stop. I filled in a few words I weren't sure about, but overall feel pretty good about this one. Okay, that was cool. I just found out by experimenting, you probably noticed it while we were doing that you can zoom in and out by using the mouse scroll wheel. That's kind of neat. Alright, next we have the Kiari story, or Kedri story, I think is what this is. The story of Kedri, taken from Book 42b. Translation, Nick. First draft. Kedri loved his people, and the people of Dunny loved their king, for Kedri did well in the eyes of Yavo and sought to serve those whom he led. In the 48th year of his reign, Kedri roamed the streets of Ae'gura and was greatly disturbed. For even though all people, rich and poor, loved their king, Kedri saw that the entire island of Ae'gura was filled with those who were prosperous, and those who governed Dunny. "Where are my people?" Kedri asked to those who walked with him. "All around you," they answered, pointing to the crowds that followed them. "Yet I do not see my people here. I see masters of the guild, and I see owners of our stores. But I do not see those who have no option to join our guild or those who have built the stores. Where are my people on this island?" So the king called together his counselors and expressed his disappointments, and he ordered that a new place isn't right, but I'm having trouble with this word, not the usual district word either, although that might be a better translation, or home, be built on the island, and that the name of the place be Shamathan. He ordered that Shamathan, or maybe Shamathan, I think that's a better pronunciation, be made available not to those who did possess the wealth and stature of the elite, but to those who were not so fortunate. Still, they were his people, and the area was built, and Kedri was joyful to see his people live in such a place. Same word again. A short while later, after the area of Shamathan began to grow, Kedri was walking through the city, conversing with his people and telling them of his plans. And Kedri was led to the common library, because he wanted to see the ages that he heard his people talk of. And again the king was disturbed, and he asked his advisors, "Where are the books that the great Dunny have written?" "All around you," they answered, pointing to the rows of books that lie in the shelves. "Yet I do not see the ages of our people here. I see ages that resemble failed school assignments for the students of writers. I see ages that not even those students would visit, much less a king. So I will ask again, where are the great ages of Dunny?" So the king returned to his palace and ordered his counselors to bring his most prized book, The Age of the Kings, written during the reign of his grandfather, to the common library so that the people of Dunny might be able to see the skills of the great writers, even as he had seen them. And the people loved their king more than they had before. So the king called his advisors and ordered them to add to the great temple, so that Yahweh might be pleased, and so all of Duni could visit their god. Really, it's a form of Yahweh again. I thought God made more sense, though, in his house, just as those with money, an inherited kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the opera house so that all of Duni could hear the skills of song of the people, just as those with money, an earned kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the district of Belari, so that the area started by King Rakeri might not fall into disrepair, but be treated as all other areas of the city, and that all of Duni might live in prosperity, just as those with money, both earned and inherited, were allowed to do. And all people of Duni grew to love their king more than they had before. Some trouble spots here. Seems there were a few different kinds of money words. Might need help with those as well as the whole place thing. Okay, that one was a pretty simple story. Alright, so then we have the final notebook, which is the Mierta story. So this is the story of Mierta, taken from book 28b, translation Nick. Okay, so full disclosure here, in the middle of that last story, you may have heard it happen. And I don't mean for this to be gross or anything, but you know how when you burp, sometimes the burp can have this sort of acidic stuff and it gets to the roof of your mouth? It happens like a lot if you drink milk and stuff, but I haven't even I haven't even had any milk lately, so I don't know what this was, but it was pretty nasty and Anyway, I'm trying to wash it off with some water here. Anyway, this is the first draft. In the time of Mierta, in the 196th year of his reign, Joatha, his mother, came to him in his bedroom. Now it was well known throughout the city of Mierta in his craving, lust for women. And none knew that this weakness, a weakness of choice is more literal, more than his own mother. So it was that Joatha brought with her the woman Ramel, who worshipped the tree. Ramel's beauty was well known in Duni, especially among those who worshipped the tree, and especially among the kings. Plural kings is here, although I don't know why. Maybe imply the whole king's palace or history. Not, sure. But as it was, though the king could have any object in Duni, Ramel had been held from him by his mother until now. And she offered her son Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. "But what are your purposes?" the king asked. "For do you think me so foolish as to give you anything you want for a mere woman?" "Of course not, my son. But as you know, you have watched Ramel from afar for many years. You have talked to your advisors and plotted the ways in which you could make her yours. But you have been unable even to look upon her so closely until this day. Until this day that I have brought her to you. So do not think I am so foolish so as to believe that this woman is a mere woman." "You have spoken truthfully. In fact, as I gaze upon her now, I have never imagined her to be so beautiful. She is like a statue, without flaw. But even so, do you think I would give you whatever you wish for even a woman such as this?" Now Joatha was cunning, and Mierta was eager for Ramel. And every day Joatha brought the woman into the king's bedroom, and every day she offered her son the woman Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. And as the nights passed, Mierta became unsatisfied with those who were already his. He became spiteful of those who came to his bedroom, for none compared to the woman Ramel whom his mother continued to withhold from him. And finally he could resist his mother's arguments no longer. And Joatha came to his bedroom with the woman Ramel, and King Mierta began to speak. "The woman has ruined my life. There is none like her in all my ages, and you bring her to this room night after night. Those who I have found beautiful have faded in comparison to this one, and I no longer find pleasure in them. Therefore I am no longer satisfied with anything, and I will not be satisfied until this woman is mine. What is it that you ask of me? Whatever it was I will give. You have my word." "Very well, my son. I will talk to you tomorrow." I can't do female voices very well. And Joatha gave the woman Ramel of the worshippers of the tree to her son, and Ramel was King Mierta's from that day forward. At dawn of the next day, Joatha came to Mierta while he was still sleeping and told him her purposes. "The Guild of Riders has long had their rules, their restrictions, and their ancient oaths. But you realize, my son, that these words are old now, and no longer the ways of our people. Rhinareth was responsible for them, and they are like a collar around our necks, growing ever tighter and preventing us from moving forward. It is time that we are freed." Even Mierta was disturbed. "But there are none who would agree to this. The oath is as stone. It cannot be altered, for it has never been. And yet, not only do you ask me to change the oath, but to contradict the things it says? And Jolotha grew angry.
Are you so foolish? Do you think I ask you to carry out the impossible? There is but one thing that must be changed. One thing that will give us freedom.
It is the Dunny who have created the art as we know it, not Yavo. Thus, since it is true, it is us who can determine the rules of the art, not the ancient religious writings. They will view it as blasphemy, the king responded, but I will do as you say. And so King Mierta spoke to the Guild of Writers. His words were well crafted, often from his mother, and his arguments strong, for they too Jolotha gave him, and his effort was great, for there was no other woman besides Rebel, and it was the woman that he lived for. However, though many in the Guild of Writers were easily convinced by the sharp words of the king, there was one who was not. Grandmaster Tremal was old in age and wise beyond even his years, and his decision was hard. The word is a certain kind of stone that was considered to be the most hard and immovable, and he would not be moved.
Never will we change what Eilish has written in the oaths. Never will we change what we have spoken for generations. Never will we allow a crack to be opened in the great wall of our guild. For is it tyranny that you seek? But is tyranny not the reason we exist? For Tremal could see the plans of Jolotha, even in the words of the king. And Tremal knew that if the ancient religious writings did not determine their fate, the hearts of men would rule. And there would be nothing to stop Jolotha from having her way. And so for 3 days Tremal stood to the words of the king. For 3 days the king would return to his palace and receive new words from his mother. For 3 days the anger of Jolotha burned against Tremal and grew stronger. And so it was that on the 4th day, when the king was no longer welcome to the guild, Grandmaster Tremal was found hanging from a tree, his body covered in blood. The king was sad when he heard the news, for he held no bitterness in his heart toward Tremal. But when Jolotha heard the news, she was overjoyed, and ordered the king to the Guild of Writers to change the oath and carry out her own purposes. But as it was, the death of Tremal had breathed boldness into the guild, and in unison they denounced the wicked evil that had killed their Grand Master, and vowed that the oaths of their guild would never be changed, and that there would be no more discussions. Wait, there would be no more discussions. So Jolotha devised other plans, for she knew that even she could not change such determined, the same word used above, the hardened stone, guildsmen. And King Mierta lived with Ramel, and he was satisfied with all those who visited his room again. Even as he was filled with pleasure, Jolotha plotted evil, and the city in which he lived grew weak. Probably ready for a Dr. Watson review. I gotta admit, I thought he would kill his mother or something, after being pushed around by her. But, guess that didn't happen, or maybe it wasn't recorded in that book. So that's the library. There's additional content you can access through there in the Uru Live version, but that's not here. We just have a big ledge overlooking the lake with the big arch over there, which is pretty neat. And there's some rocks over here which are basically blocking the way. But there's really nothing more to see around here. One thing you can do is you can actually go into the level above here, and there's actually a walkway that rings around the library. And in Uru Live, there actually is a borrow stone that sits up there. I don't think it's here, though. And that stone links to the top of the pyramid in Kadesh Talisa. I think it's through here? No, I guess you can't get to it that way. Maybe you have to go this way. So yeah, the Kadesh Pyramid, the thing with the big, what you call that, oh, wait a minute, is that a Relto page? Hang on. I don't think it is, but no, it's just light. But yeah, the big thing with the light, the thing that's shown the light onto the floor of the pyramid for that puzzle. I don't know if it was here. It was definitely somewhere around here. It may have been on this side, but for whatever reason they didn't include it here in the non-live version of the game. I guess it doesn't really serve any purpose, so it kind of makes sense. And we're back around to this point, so I don't think you can get in here, can you? Let's see. No. Okay.
Thought it was worth checking out at least. Yeah, it's pretty cool that this is here. Kind of a nice touch, even though there's no markers or anything to find. Alright, let's just drop off here. So, where do we go from here? Well, there's one path that leads outward. It's actually this way, near the front area. And there are a few paths that go throughout Dunny here, at least two major ones. And we'll be sure to check them all out. So let's go here. No markers over this way. This is really neat to see. As a longtime Myst fan, I just have to say this is really cool. Okay, there's a marker somewhere. There it is. Alright, how many markers do we have left? 7, right? Oh, 3! Okay, that means there's only 8 left. Let's minimize it again. I like having it minimized because you can actually get clued in as to the locations of the stuff a little bit more easily. I can't remember, is this the one that leads back to the Dakota central area thing, or... Definitely a marker somewhere here. I think it's off. There it is, right there. I think if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 ways back. There's this one, and then there's the one over there, and they both lead to different areas. For some reason, I think it's just the color palette, but that bridge reminds me of the one from that was it Edvard Munch painting The Scream? You guys might be familiar with that. So this is the concert hall. We heard about the opera house in that one story, and I think this is the foyer for the concert hall. But we cannot actually go anywhere from here, which is a bit of a... Wait a minute. No, we can't. We can go this way. We can't get inside that area, though. I know that. There you are, right there. Alright, and we are now in that series of shops, or whatever it was that we saw from that balcony up there. Now, the game doesn't make it super obvious, but this set of doors actually is the entrance to Kadish Gallery. And in the live version of the game, you can actually get to there. Where is this marker? Don't tell me it's inside the gallery. I don't think it is. Alright, where are you? Wait a minute. I saw something. No? I do not know where this is. I am not seeing anything. Apparently we've gone too far. I'm guessing it's around here somewhere. Where? Where is it? I just don't want to go too far, but let's see. Okay, we've gone too far. So the center of this circle where this thing is blinking is like a little bit down this way. But not really in the gallery itself. Wait a minute. It's not blinking here. Why isn't it blinking anymore? This is definitely problematic. Wait, there's only one. No, we did collect that many. I guess it's just not blinking down there anymore, but it's blinking up here. Alright, let me just make sure it's not somewhere here along the wall. But I don't see anything along the wall, so I don't think it would be. It'd be way more devious to hide it out this way.
Oh, please don't tell me it's down there somewhere. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah. I don't see it. That's kind of unnerving. Alright, let me see if I can get me more information about where this is. Okay, it's apparently in the first hole in front of the alley. This place is commonly referred to as Canyon Alley. So does that mean we literally have to fall into it? I do find it interesting that we don't actually get it detected until we get all the way in here. So is this the hole? This area down there? I'd prefer not to jump to get this one. Alright, tell you what, I'm not going to worry about this one. Personally. Unless it's just waiting down there somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah. Maybe first from this direction is what they mean. Okay, that cone is kind of dancing around there. Alright, yeah, I'm not seeing it. Let's just leave it be. We'll have to call that one a fail there. Alright. So now we're back up to the central area over here. So I think what I'm going to do next is I am going to go... There's this over here as well. A little balcony area that you can check out, which is pretty cool. Let's minimize this again. I don't believe there is a marker inside the big tree here. Yeah, nothing here. Alright, so from here we can actually see the great staircase that leads back to the dock area, but we're not going to go there yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over back to Canyon Alley. It's still bothering me. I don't want to let it go, but I think I'm going to. It's nice that you don't actually have to get all of them. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, there should be only one left to collect on the way back. And then there's 3 more in the ferry terminal area that we haven't yet seen. Which I'm actually not going to worry about showing in this video for a reason that I'll reveal at the end here. I actually kind of like my outfit. I look like some rugged adventurer type. Look at that. I started with that Riven shirt like I was a fanboy coming to the Cavern, but now I'm all blending in here. DRC vest, everything. Alright. Go across this rickety bridge. To be honest, I'm not sure I would want to cross that thing in real life. I'm just going to leave that there. Alright. I see a blinky blink. There it is, right there. Alrighty. So I think that's all of them, if I've counted correctly. Alright, so now we've got another big balcony area here. We can actually see the bridge as well as the Canyon Alley area there. And we can head up some stairs, which are over this way. Lots of running around, but it's fun. I like seeing all the sights.
As contrived a method as this is of getting you to go around and check everywhere out, it is pretty fun. Alright, this room here is the Hall of Kings, and it contains the remaining notebooks that I mentioned earlier from the Dakota rooftop area about the other kings in Dunny. And we've got a... I can't remember if we did this one. I think we did. Because this is near the palace. And I think we did get the palace one. And in the next video, I'm actually going to read the notebooks. All of the notebooks. So now we're back in the central area. I'm going to go ahead and backtrack over here to the king area. And we are going to read all of those in the next video. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be quite a ride. Maybe even longer than Dakota Rooftop. But I think it will be interesting. I've personally never even read these myself, so... That's going to come in the next video, but until then, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves today. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell to get notified of new episodes. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.